Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you again for tuning in into the KJO Show. I am your wonderful host, Kevin Joseph, and you already know how I bring in the wonderful, awesome, and amazing guests. So today, I have a special guest for you guys. He is an entrepreneur, marketing consultant for multiple seven-figure businesses, been running ads since he was 16 years old. He is literally the best internet marketing service that money can buy. My boy, Dimitri Niko. What's going on, man? How you living, man?
Awesome. What's going on, Kendra? Cheers for having me on the show. Yeah, just super grateful. So thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to
Of
it, man.
course, man. Of course, man. Yeah, I reached out to Nico. We are both in a Facebook ads group. And so, man, you dropped some bomb ass content one time, man. I actually want to let you know I actually stole your strategy for the Facebook
Yeah,
Messenger,
awesome.
man. I stole that strategy from you, man. And it was so good, man. I had to add you and reach out to you, man. So go ahead and let the people tell a little bit about yourself. Let the people know who you are, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. So basically I'm an internet marketing consultant. I own an agency down here in Melbourne. We specialize in paid traffic, which essentially means running all the Facebook ads and Google ads and whatever it is, all the really intricate stuff that comes with running the advertisement for these companies. And we've had a lot of success scaling a lot of these companies right from the beginning, the early stages of an idea being like the inception of the idea all the way to the point where they're doing well over $200,000 a month. And I guess that started out. So to give you a bit of background, I started drop shipping when I was 16, 17 years old. Did that probably for about a year or two, and it was okay. It wasn't no great success in drop shipping or anything like that. But it's where I really sort of got a grasp on how all this advertising stuff works and how essentially selling online works, right? From there, of course, year 12 happened at school, all the finals, the big exams and stuff like that. So I sort of had to give all that up temporarily. And then I ended up rolling straight into college, university, we call it over here.
Mhm.
Um, Ended up going into law school, did about a year of that. And I mean, it's funny, man, in the beginning, it was a bit like, oh my God, how did I get here? All these guys
Right.
are like the hot shots, everyone wants to be there when they're at school, right? Everyone wants to get
Mhm.
into law school or med school or something like that. But by the end of my first year, it was completely flipped. And it was like, man, what am I doing here? How did I end up here? This is so small time. And I guess all these bigger sort of entrepreneurial, like the entrepreneurial itch, that all
Right.
sort of started coming into play. And I really wanted to go back to what I was doing before. Ended up starting consulting. So I actually started, which is kind of funny, I actually started with the Ty Lopez course that
Oh,
taught
the
social
social
media
media one.
marketing.
Mhm.
Yeah, the agency course. So that was it was very foundational. I mean, the real basics. But from there, I was able to build and then really niche down and specialize in a specific skill set.
This is
And
after you. This is after you were doing drop shipping already. You went to buy the Ty Lopez course.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So I already had sort of an idea of Facebook advertising and online marketing
Okay.
and stuff like that, and I wanted to sort of understand the consulting space a little bit more.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Man, that's crazy, man. That's a crazy story. And so now you are 22 years old, right?
yeah. So I'm 22 now. Run the agency at the moment full time. We've also got another company that I've got a couple of business partners involved in that I entered a couple of months ago. It's a fitness apparel company that was a client, and we did a great job. Basically, got some pretty awesome results, and then we wanted to take it to the next level. And the guy, I guess, um, he was at that stage where he was sort of hitting a ceiling as well, and thinking like, man, how can I really, really blow this up? I can't just
Mm,
do it all by myself. So we sort of joined forces, and now, we're focusing on really scaling that.
man. So like what got you started at 16 though? Like what was it to just like, man, I want to start running ads at 16? Like what was it, Most 16-year-olds,
Yeah,
they're out there, chasing girls, playing sports, why e-commerce at 16?
yeah, good question. Basically, I didn't going through high school. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I grew up going through a private school, right? So the whole idea was, hey, you either have to go to law school or med school or become an engineer or something like that.
Right.
And I really none of those ideas sort of there was no attraction to any of that or that sort of lifestyle of going through the corporate ladder or anything like that. And people would tell me like, hey, you have to do this. Oh my God, it's going to be so great. You're going to work your way up the corporate ladder, and it just didn't appeal to me. But I knew I'd have to start making money somehow, right?
Right.
And then my little brother actually introduced me to this guy on YouTube called Alex Becker, who does a lot of SEO stuff.
Mhm.
He does a lot of drop shipping and stuff like that. And he actually created this video on drop shipping. And that's where I was like the very first sort of exposure to the whole idea of drop shipping. And it just blew my mind that you could have a business where you don't hold any inventory. There's no upfront investment, nothing. And back then was like the day of the golden era of drop shipping, right? That was
Right.
literally just run an ad to a product page and start making sales. So that's pretty much how it happened. I mean, mostly from this YouTuber who I still follow and watch all his videos. I think he's great. Anyone should go check him out if they're into internet marketing. Alex Becker. Yeah, he does a lot of email marketing stuff now and supplements, and yeah, very sort of high class entrepreneur. I love watching
Yeah,
him.
I like how you said like the golden age of drop shipping, man. Because I know, especially now, man, I know people would say that drop shipping is a quote unquote very crowded niche. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the drop shipping wave? How it is now? Everybody can feel like, oh, I could just make money from drop shipping.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely still so much money in dropshipping and e-commerce in general. What's been happening over the last couple of years is that there's been a shift in the balance of who's actually making the money. And it's gone from, in the early stages, everyone was making a bit of money, right? Everyone could get to six figures in dropshipping. Now people are really starting to figure it out. And the ones that have figured it out have really excelled. And they're taking a massive sort of portion of the pie chart, portion of the income. And there's not much left for the guys that just want a direct link to a product page and start selling stuff. So now that the shift has gone that way, it's really about building a brand and sort of creating an audience that's really faithful to your product or whatever it is that you have to offer, so that when you do go and ask for the sale or run those ads to your product page, which is, of course, it fits in the puzzle somewhere, but it's just one piece in the massive puzzle now, you do get the conversions and you do have the income coming in.
Yeah, I know, right? Because I feel like the wave of drop shipping is kind of like how like network marketing. Network marketing is just like, oh, you go to a big seminar, you make all this money, then from there you're good, right?
Yeah.
I've run into even younger people and older people, just like, oh yeah, I started my website and I'm gonna be making money, but then they make a website and just like, well, yeah, money's not coming in. Well, yeah, it's just like you getting a store and you got your own, let's say, pizza store, and you have this whole building. Or how are you going to get people to it? So I think the not teaching people about the way of getting traffic to your stores, I think that's like kind of the big difference between the top level and then the bottom level people who just make a Shopify store, and then from there they think they're just going to start making money.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, today it's all about building up a brand, a faithful following to your product or whatever your offering is, and then focusing on monetizing later. So don't think in the short term and making a sale today. Focus on customer lifetime value and actually bringing all these customers into your business, not even selling them anything, bringing them all in, and then further down the track, then asking for money.
No, bro. So what type of clients do you work with?
At the moment, so we work with pretty much all private label e-commerce. We've got clients in the supplement space.
Private label e-commerce. Could you like briefly tell what that is?
Yeah, for sure. So it's basically everything that's not drop shipping. So people that have their own brand or their own product that they've either come up with, or they've just ordered products from AliExpress or Alibaba or whatever Chinese supplier, and then relabeled it so that it's their own label.
So be a private
label, their own brand. Yeah.
Got you. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so you do e-commerce for these type of brands. Do they need to have usually like some like for them to work with you? Are they having scaling problems, or can they just not make money at all? Like, what is kind of the balance between that?
Yeah, sure. So the ones that are I guess like the ideal client, or the ones that we can really help out, are the ones that typically they've already sort of figured out what they want to do and what they want to sell, and they have a product and they're making sales, whether it's organic or through their personal brand, or they've already proven their product and they are making sales. But then it's a matter of actually implementing paid traffic so that they have a scalable and predictable source of income and sales revenue. That way, of course, once we have that model built out and we're generating, say, $5,000 in sales for every $1,000 in ad spend that we spend, we can just scale and grow that, which of course, things like organic stuff like SEO and selling through your personal brand, it's not as scalable and as predictable as that.
Okay. Oh man, well yeah, man. Thank you for breaking that down for us. Now you guys know who Dimitri is, and now we're going to go into the practical section. You already guys know how this is going to go. We're going to get into the meat of it. So, Mr. Ecom himself, Mr. Ecom expert, man, I need you to break down for the people, man. If I want to, I just got this. I'm tired of my job, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to go into e-commerce. What are the things that I need to do? What's the first steps of, first beginning and middle and end steps of getting an e-commerce and making money from it?
Yeah, awesome. So I think in the beginning, it's being really clear on a passion product and this one product that you want to sell, and not so much anymore going down the route of testing like 100 different products. I mean, a lot of sort of e-commerce and drop shipping, their sort of process involves testing these hundreds of products and trying to find one winning product that they can then sell, right? And while that works, they can sell it for a time. And then once someone else catches on and other advertisers start coming into the space and marketing towards that product and to the same audience, it essentially just kills your conversions. And it's not a very long-term strategy. So it's getting really clear on one product, whether it's a passion product, a supplement, a clothing brand, something like that. And once you're clear on this one product that you want to sell, it's very much so about building a brand around that product, using, say, influencers in the beginning, because influencers can be cheaper than Facebook advertising, using some organic sources so that we can build up our custom audiences and stuff like that. And then from there, looking at implementing paid traffic afterwards. So in the beginning, the very first steps, find your product, try and label it if you can, so that you are selling something that no one else can just come into the market and start selling straight away because it has your brand on it. Start reaching out to hundreds of influencers, right? And just saying, hey, I'd love it if you could just promote this product, put a post up on your Instagram, and in exchange, we'll send you all this stuff for free, or we'll pay you $100 or whatever it might be.
Right.
And when you're doing that, you might not be generating sales from day one, which is fine. That's not the objective. You're doing two main things, right? You're building up your audience, and you're also building up your data on your website and on your Facebook pixel and stuff like that, so that when the time does come to start running ads and to scale, we've got all this data already that we can then build upon and really capitalize on.
Okay. So yeah, so really the first steps is, like you said, kind of just a recap. So I need to just think about maybe some product that I'm just really just passionate about, or, because I would have more of a better interest of actually marketing this than just like, testing a whole bunch of other products and things like that beforehand.
Yeah, that's right. And it is important to be passionate in some sense of the word, just because if you're going to be building up a brand and a really passionate audience about the product, there's no other way to do it than to really engross yourself in whatever the product is, and to be able to educate the audience and share your passion with your audience about the product. Yeah.
Okay. But what about, these websites like let's say like, these niche websites, like let's say like Ecom Hunt, things like that. These products, they find these winning products for you. And then from there, you're able to just maybe build a store around those winning type of products. And then from there, just kind of shoot ads towards them. How do you feel about things like that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, again, in the short term, that's something that could work, but you've got to think how many other eyes are on those products at the moment, when by the time they've gotten to you through one of these tools like Ecom Hunt and stuff like that, it's going to be it's not going to be a very long time before everyone's hopping on those products. And again, you're bidding, because the way it works with Facebook advertising is it's on a bidding system, right? So you pay depending on how many other people want to show their ads to the same people. So if there are more people on it, the ads cost more and your profitability goes down. So by creating your own product and having your own brand, you're basically blowing all the competition out of the water.
Okay. Man. Okay. So then from there, once I have my product, I go through the process of setting up my e-com store, terms and conditions, all that good stuff. And from there, I should go into either running ads or finding influencers. I'm assuming let's just kind of niche it down to Instagram influencers, because, I would say probably those are the best bang for your buck if you're going to pay for influencers. I remember, in my other episode, I want to say it's episode 51, I was talking about how people can go and get those Instagram influencers. There's multiple tools that you can see the engagement rates. So you guys can go ahead, check episode 51 about the intro to Instagram influencers. So compared to Instagram influencers and Facebook ads, do you think you should use both, or kind of just pick one?
Yeah, so I mean, there's sort of like a time and place for everything, right? So in the beginning, I think it would be more about influencers just so that you can build up some traffic and build up that data. Of course, when you're doing that stuff, it's really, really important to have your Facebook retargeting in place, which means you want to be catching anyone that sort of comes into your website and bounces and leaves the website. You want to be catching them with other ads, whether it be dynamic product ads, which they dynamically update the products if you've got more than one product on your store, and shows the most relevant product depending on the website visitors' behavior on your website, or showing them testimonials, showing them click to messenger ads to open up a conversation to settle any objections or doubts they might have with your product. Really important to have that stuff in place so that when the traffic's coming in from the influencer, we're not just losing that traffic, right? We want to capitalize and catch and squeeze as much juice out of that traffic as possible.
Oh.
Once you're getting some of that traffic in, that's when you want to start playing around with Facebook ads, because what we can do is we can create custom audiences based on the number of people, or the people that purchase, the people that add to cart, the people that spend the time on your website, right?
Right.
And we've done all this stuff with the influencers, right? And we haven't generated any sales. That's fine, because the objective isn't to generate sales from day one. We're thinking long term. We can do what's called a time spent on site audience, right? So we can create an audience based on the top 5% of time spent on our website. So it'll go and take, out of 100 visitors, it'll go and take the 5 most engaged people on your website and essentially profile them. And then we can create a lookalike audience based on that. And Facebook will start showing your ads to people very, very similar to the ones that have spent the most time on your website. Now, of course, this is going to be a lot more powerful than if you had just started with Facebook ads from day one and you're just targeting, say, the interest fishing to sell fishing rods, right? Once we use custom audiences and these lookalike audiences, it's a lot more powerful. So I think you guys can see, like, sort of tying back now, why we do influencers and stuff like that first before actually just going and marketing to cold traffic with Facebook.
Okay, no, that makes sense, because like you said, I mean, first, before, like, you have to find the right influencer for your niche. Obviously, if you're a fishing niche, you can't go to a travel influencer and try to sell your stuff. So once you guys actually find those actual niches, from there you pay them. And I'm really finding that like, they're very, very underpriced as well too. Like, you can get a influencer who has maybe a 75 to 100K followers, with maybe an engagement of like 6-7%. And you can get them to run run a post for you for maybe like $50 to $100, if that. And so, like, if you're running it to a product, like Dimitri said, you might get a sale, but you might not. But, with that data that you're getting, able to retarget those people for later products and later content that you have, man. So Dimitri, man, what are some things that people who are just getting started should not do? What are like the biggest mistakes that people make when getting into the dropshipping niche?
Right. Great question. Again, I think it really comes around sort of not really knowing exactly what you're passionate about and what you want to sell, and then ending up just selling a bunch of random crap from AliExpress that anyone can sell. So I think before you start, or before you select a product, you should sort of go through the thought process of, hey, can some random person from the other side of the world, working out of his mom's basement, actually just sell this as well? Because if the answer to that question is yes, then there's zero barrier to entry for anyone. And the competition, I mean, even if you do have short-term success, it won't last at all, just because the competition will flood in. So yeah, definitely look at creating your own products. Now, in terms of, I guess, from a marketing perspective, really important, again, to have retargeting in place. Look at your email marketing, again, so you can capture the customers that come through, the traffic that comes through, but doesn't actually purchase. So you'd want all your abandoned cart email sequences in place and stuff like that. And with influencers, now, I'm a massive advocate of influencers. I think people really don't see the value in them at the moment. They're still massively underpriced, right?
Just let them keep sleeping, man. Let them keep sleeping.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So, I mean, and where that comes from is you used to be able to pay $100 for a shout out and make $1,000 in sales, right? And I mean, I was doing that even up to about 9 months ago. I was actually doing it with some of these prints from AliExpress just as a little side project to test out some stuff. And almost got sued by Monopoly in the process, which was
that's crazy.
I can tell you in a sec. But yeah, so you used to be able to say pay $100 for a shout out and make $1,000 in sales.
Right.
Now it's gotten to the point where you might pay $100 and make $200 in sales, right? And people are saying, "Oh, it's not really worth it. It's a waste of time and stuff like that." But you got to think in the process: how many followers are you gaining? How many extra eyes have you got on your brand? And how many website visitors do you have that you can later retarget and sell other stuff to? And really look at the long term, the lifetime customer value when you are making these shout outs. So you may spend $100 and only make $200 back, but in the long term, those eyes on your product, on your brand, how much money are you going to be getting out of those guys in the next 6 to 12 months if they've followed your page or they've landed on your website and you've pixeled them or anything like that, where you can retarget them and follow up with them and get further sales down the track. So that's a massive one. Just thinking about the lifetime value of a customer rather than day one and making sales on day one.
Okay. So how much money would one spend, or, like, before one should be concerned about maybe their product or their store or things like that? How much money do you think somebody should just focus on, okay, like not worry about losing until they start reconsidering things? Does it just depend on the budget? Would it depend on the person, the product? Give me your take on it.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of variables at play there to actually know whether or not you've sort of, I mean, the question is like, when should you give up and work on another product, right? Essentially.
Right, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it really does depend on how if you've exhausted every single option and people just aren't biting on your product, you've probably got a dud product that people just don't really want or aren't passionate about, right? And you would know that sort of within the first $1,000. You should know that if you've done the first $1,000, right? You've posted on with influencers. You used influencers. You've got your retargeting in place. You've got your email marketing, and you're running some Facebook ads. And you've spent $1,000 and you still haven't made a single sale. You've either got to assess your strategy and your approach so far, and make sure that you have done all those things right. But yeah, if you haven't made a sale or had a considerable number of people follow you or even click to your website, your click-through rates are terrible, then by that stage, by about
see, that be that shit. Fucking knew it.
So,
shit.
Yeah, that's it, man. I still got you. You're just frozen for a sec. There we go.
I know, right? Yeah.
Technology, man.
I know, right? You can see me, right? We're good, right?
Yeah, we're all good now. Yeah,
okay,
gotcha.
Cool, man. Awesome, man. Well, yeah, man, there y'all have it. Literally broken down to what to do, what not to do. If you want to get into drop shipping, literally go back, write some notes down. I hope you guys are taking notes. I definitely learned some new things myself as well too, man. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a small break. We're going to take a small musical break. We play music. I play music at the beginning and end of every podcast. So if you guys have any artists, upcoming artists that you want to send me, please send them to me. You can send them to my IG. It's Kevin Joseph, and I will be right back. And then I guess we're live right now, so we can just go ahead and keep it rolling, man. So no worries, man.
It's up to you. I mean, I've still got, we're still live on
no, it's cool, man. No worries, man. But yeah, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Still here with my boy Dimitri, man. So this section, part 3, man, is what it's called. What do you have going on right now, man? So I want to know, what do you have planned for your future, man? For you, for your agency, what are some plans that you got going on?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, of course, the plan is to grow the agency massively and to take on a bunch of really awesome clients that we can help, because I'm very driven and very passionate about, of course, helping other business owners grow massively. And I mean, just from like the results that we've gotten in the past 6 to 12 months, I just want to keep doing it for more people, right? Now, I know that's sort of like cliche and people say, oh, you want to help people. That's complete bullshit. Well, look, I'll be honest. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, that whole I'm here, I'm on the planet to help people and stuff like that in my business. is a little bit negligent of the fact that people do it to make money. Of course, that's our number one priority as entrepreneurs, right? To figure out how to make money, and that's where our passion lies. So yeah, it's to build up the agency, and secondly, also to bring on a lot more of these e-commerce projects, like the fitness apparel company that we're working on at the moment, and really scale those upwards. So we have 5 or 6 of those that are doing some big things and building awesome brands with hundreds of thousands of people around the world, millions of people around the world, actually looking at these brands and thinking, man, I want to wear that stuff, or I could really do with that, or that can really sort of help me out and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely 1, to grow the agency, and 2, to sort of build up the e-commerce portfolio over time. Yeah.
How do you go about getting clients now?
At the moment, so at the moment, it's very much through my personal brand and just putting out a lot of value into the marketplace. People really underestimate how much, because I mean, you hear Ty Lopez and Gary Vee and all these guys say it all the time, right? They're like, oh, just put out value and good things will come. That's like, as corny as that sounds, it's so true.
It really works.
If you do it right and you're really putting out value, and of course you have to know a couple of little tips and tricks along the way to actually get the right eyes on your content and the stuff that you put out. But if you do all that right, the leads will come flying in, and people will be begging to work with you, just because you're doing such an awesome job for your other clients at the moment. So I mean, I guess some of the sort of tips and tricks and the things that you should be doing along the way, just for anyone that's got sort of a consulting business or anything like that. Case studies are super, super valuable, right? So as you saw, and I guess a lot of the people watching this may have seen, the 25K in a day e-com messenger strategy that I put up. I've put that a couple of times in a couple of different groups, and people just love it, right? Because it's massive, massive value.
Right.
The case studies are great, leveraging your past results. And if it means you have to work for free for your first client or your first couple of clients to build up this massive portfolio of awesome results, then do it, because in the long term, it's going to come back in spades. Secondly, when you're doing all this content stuff, include numbers, because people just love numbers. It's one thing to say, hey, here's how to set up your Facebook ads, or here's how you should go about your online marketing or growing your business. But if you say, hey, I'm going to show you how to add $100,000 to your revenue in 90 days, everyone will just...
Yeah, bro, for sure. Everybody's jumping out the window to see that. Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, the main way we're getting clients at the moment is just through my personal branding and stuff, which is why dimniko.com, it's all done through that. It's not like an agency or its own sort of brand. And yeah, just all through content and putting out value in the marketplace, man.
Yeah, man. Are you running any? Are you making that content and then like running any ads towards it or anything like that?
Yeah, cool. So good question. I've got what I'm finding is working really well right now is to actually run paid traffic, because that's something we want to be doing, right? So that we've got a broader sort of reach.
Absolutely.
More so than just our friends list and stuff like that. What I'm doing is I've got a messenger bot set up on my personal page. It's Dim Niko on Facebook, and the bot there, when people opt into that, it takes them through a value series, 7 days of just like dropping bombs, right? So awesome studies, awesome strategies that they can literally just go and implement in their business straight away. It breaks everything down step by step for them to do it themselves. And then of course at the end there's a pitch, and it says, hey, hop on and book your free strategy call with me, or whatever it is. And from there we have a talk about their business and how I can help them out and stuff. So we're running ads directly to the messenger bot from Instagram stories, and we're getting people to sign up for
Instagram stories. Oh, so they swipe up when they see your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So they swipe up, land on a landing page, and that basically says, hey, do you want to see this 25K in a day case study? Click here. Big button, they click on that, end up in Messenger. The case study gets sent to them in Messenger. Then we also ask for their email. And then after that, they go through 7 days worth of value within Messenger again. And then finally, they're asked to book a call.
Man, how's the engagement with that? With the people interacting throughout all the 7 days?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, people are loving it. I could probably bring up the stats, but that's all right. We're getting... In the beginning, I mean, the case study is like 98% open rate or whatever. By the end of it, it's down to about 80%, which is still
solid. Yeah, solid.
Yeah. So it's insane. And it's getting awesome feedback. People can just open up a conversation with you whenever they feel like, reply to any one of your case studies. And then we can strike up a conversation, say, hey, do you want to get on a call? Let me see how I can help you out and stuff like that.
Is this you running it yourself, or is this somebody on your team that's running your the messenger bot?
Yeah, so my own marketing I enjoy doing myself, right? We've got guys on the team that handle some client stuff. But all my own stuff, because I just love
yourself, yeah.
Strategy stuff. Yeah, I do all that myself. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, so you're doing strictly just Instagram stories with the swipe up.
Sorry, say that again.
I see you're doing just Instagram stories with the swipe up.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's just Instagram story ads that swipe up onto a landing page and then straight into Messenger.
Okay. Have you tested like the like video views or link to clicks through Facebook and stuff?
Yeah, Facebook is a little bit more expensive. I think.
Oh, really?
Like something like $10 to get someone to comment, and we were using the comment growth tool. So if someone comments and says,
yeah, like give me the case study type deal, right?
Drives them, right? But yeah, it costs considerably more. I found the best way at the moment is definitely
IG story.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that you tested it through the stories too. So are you running it's a video ad, or it's a 15-second video, or is it a 15-second like 15-second I guess picture? Not 15
yeah. So it's literally
picture?
Yeah, it's just a picture of me just sitting on a table. I had a photographer take it a little while ago.
Okay.
Really basic. The photo had nothing to do with marketing.
Right.
It says in big text, it says 25K in 1 day case study, swipe up to download or something like that. And that was it.
Yeah.
Really simple. Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid, man. It's a solid plan for sure. Yeah, I know those, and the fact that you're doing both, the fact that you're using the mini chat, and then from there, as you already know, mini chat can go away any fucking time. So you're getting their email as well too. I think that's super, super awesome as well too, man. So
definitely. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, I love ManyChat. It's awesome, and I think it's heaps better than email for sort of building up a relationship with a customer and selling anything, right? But firstly, like you said, man, ManyChat can be gone any day. And we had a bit of a scare a little while ago with the Facebook data scandal, where ManyChat actually stopped connecting to new accounts for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. And then secondly, by collecting their email, we can create custom audiences and advertise to these people on any ad platform. So we can take that email list, start showing those guys YouTube ads, Snapchat ads, Google Display Network, anything all around the internet, because we have their email address.
Have you ran Snapchat ads?
Yeah, I've tried. It's been a struggle, actually. It's a pain, man, because it's such a primitive ad platform at the moment. You can't, they don't even have a pixel yet. And
there's no tracking or anything with Snapchat.
Yeah. So I went through about 3 weeks going back and forth with support, trying to just get it approved in the first place. And they kept coming back with a different reason. And it was the same one I was running on Instagram. So I knew it was fine.
Yeah.
So it finally got approved. And then I got about 2,000 page visits and no one opted in. So
wow, yeah.
I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, so still a lot of testing to be done there and a lot of work. But yeah, I wouldn't
even really see your analytics as well either through Snapchat. You really can't see your analytics from
all you've got is clicks, really.
and page views. Yeah, I'm sure hopefully they'll I think that's the biggest thing with Snapchat, is just because you really just as marketers, you want to see your analytics, you want to know what works, what doesn't work. So the fact that you want to run ads there, but you really can't see your numbers, I think that's definitely something Snapchat really has to improve on if they really want to grow that platform, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even know what direction Snapchat's going in.
I know, right? I feel like after the IG took their story thing, they were just like, oh shit, like damn, what are we going to
do? That's it, man. Who knows?
Man, cool, man. Awesome, man. Well, yeah, man, let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. Wanda, I definitely want to thank you for sharing your plan, man. I think that's an awesome plan to get to really getting those big brands, really growing your personal brand. Because, at the end of the day, people buy because of, who they like. And so obviously if you're building that relationship with people online, with yourself, and through Messenger chat, I think that's an awesome, awesome strategy, man. It's cool, man. But yeah, man. So final thoughts, man. So since you're from Australia, man, I have to know, man, have you ever tried to fight a kangaroo?
No. I've never ridden on one either. The question that we get a lot, I don't know, I guess when we travel and stuff,
I know, of
or
course,
even
man, of course.
people would ask, "Hey, do you guys ride on kangaroos?" Like,
Really.
yeah, we ride them to school and stuff.
No, it's it's cool, man.
Yeah,
Since
it's
I'm from
classic.
Texas, I always get like, oh, do you guys ride horses to school? Like, do you guys ride the horses everywhere? Like, oh, where's your cowboy hat? Why don't you have cowboy
Yeah,
boots? And I'm like, no, man, it's not like that at all.
yeah, that's it.
Oh, baby, yeah, man, I don't know. Have you seen that video of that guy fighting that kangaroo because his dog?
Yeah, and he just like he punches it in the
He just
face or
punches a
something.
kangaroo and the kangaroo
Yeah.
walks away. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Because I know the kangaroos are like very, very like brolic, like real strong, right?
They're pretty big too. Like I wouldn't punch one in the face, that's for sure. And,
That boy must have
yeah,
really loved his dog, man.
yeah, that's it. That's
Man.
it. No,
But
it's
yeah,
scary.
what was that? What was the story that you were talking about earlier with the that you almost got sued?
Yeah, man. So basically I was selling these sort of knockoff, it's a bit dodgy. I found these prints on AliExpress, which is a site a lot of people use to dropship, right? And I had no intentions of dropshipping at the time, but I was just like, man, these are awesome.
All
I
right.
want one. So like alarm bells, ding, 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 awesome drop shipping product, right? And I start drop shipping these and using influencer shout outs. And the print was, they were actually like recreated versions of these prints by a guy called Alec Monopoly.
Mm.
And he's a graffiti artist, a street artist, and he does sort of mock-ups of like the whole Monopoly man and a lot of like Gucci street art and all this like
Right,
really
right.
on all that sort of stuff. And we started doing shout outs, and like I said, I was spending like $100 a day on shout outs and making like $1,000 a day in sales, and that was going for like 3 or 4 days. So we had like a six-figure business
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
right?
we're
It was
good. Yeah, that's
awesome.
solid.
Happy like that. Yeah. And then I get this email from, I can't remember who it was from. It was some lawyer saying you need to stop selling these prints
Steep
right now.
cease and desist.
And they were basically saying we're the lawyers of Alec Monopoly. You need to stop selling this right now. We've also forwarded this on to the Hasbro, which is the company that
Oh
owns.
shit, yeah.
We forwarded this on to Hasbro's legal department, and I was just like, oh fuck.
Shit.
I was like, oh shit. I was shitting myself, man. I was like, oh no. Yeah. So I was like running around like crazy the next few days, like showing all my friends, like, guys, fuck, what's gonna happen? So, never heard from them again. Which
Did
was
you actually
weird.
stop selling them?
I did stop selling them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. But it was a shame. That one would have been a good one for sure.
Right. Dang, that's crazy. So now you're not even selling anything now. You're literally just working with clients. You don't even have your own e-commerce or anything, do you?
Yeah, so I'm working with clients, and I've got the fitness apparel brand that's
Oh
working.
yeah. The fitness apparel brand. That's cool, man. Awesome, man. Yeah, man. That's pretty much all I have for you, man. And thank you again for being on the show, Dimitri, man. If you could just go ahead, give the people some final thoughts and where they can find you at.
Awesome. So Kjo, firstly, thank you for having me on the show. Really appreciate it. Final thoughts. I mean, just remember, guys, it's all about long-term or lifetime customer value and thinking in the long term rather than the short term. Building up your audiences and building up all that Facebook pixel data and stuff like that. Not just making sales from day one. If you do all that stuff right, I promise you the sales will come. So if you guys want more content like this, or you guys want to see that 25K in a day messenger strategy that I talked about previously, where we did 25 grand in sales in a day, and you can go through my whole messenger bot and stuff like that, so you can see how I've set up all my stuff, tap into the case studies, and also see how I get clients and stuff. You can just go onto my website, dimniko.com. It's just dimniko.com, and then from there you can find me pretty much anywhere. Facebook.
Yeah, man, that'll be all in the show notes, so you guys just scroll down when you see it, man. But yeah, man, that will be pretty much it, man. Thank you again for being on the show, and we will talk to you soon. Go ahead, before you guys leave, give a 5-star review. Tell your brother, tell your mama, and tell your fine ass sister too about the show, man. All right, guys, we'll see y'all later. Yeah, man, that was solid, man. Thank you again for
Awesome.
being on the show, man.
Awesome.
For sure. Let me
All
start.
right, let me turn off this live stream. So what link can I put for these guys?
So yeah, I'll have this uploaded. The link that you can put, it'll be workwithkevinj.com/